Good morning, everyone. Let's see if I can remember what I was going to talk about. These two pens. I've been having a lot of fun drawing with these pens the last couple of days. These are pens that I have essentially sold to a very talented artist in Maine, and I just am making sure that they all work perfectly fine. The artist that's getting these draws in pen and ink. He's a very deliberate mark maker, not as loosey-goosey as I am. Rather than drawing like that, like I draw, he's more, I imagine this is the speed that he draws, maybe a little faster sometimes, but they seem, the strokes on the drawings and the comments he's made to me specifically talk about his mark making as being more, we'll call it more exact. He pays more attention than I do when I'm drawing. Now his drawing style is very, I'll say deliberate. It's a nice word because they are deliberate. I don't know whether, if he draws always, from left to right or up to down or back and forth or whatever he does, but I've been using these pens, sort of drawing the way that I draw, not the way he draws. So I'm trying to channel his method of drawing. And I think both of these pens will do well in his hands, as well in his hands as in mine. There's probably, he may end up wanting both of these. He may end up, he has a pen that he got from me already, which he quite likes, that, if I remember correctly, is a sort of medium fine Schaefer pen with maybe a little tiny bit of flex. And these pens offer more flex than the one that he has. Now, I have a feeling these are both very different pens, and they're different as well from the one that he already has. So I'm hoping he'll end up liking all three, but if he chooses to return one of these, he may. They're all so very different. But this one seems to pass, they both seem to pass the deliberate mark making test. Now, I'm obviously not drawing anything right now. I know that if I were to be drawing a real thing in front of me, there may be a time when I'm looking and thinking and looking and thinking and thinking again and looking down at my drawing, looking up, looking down, and I'm spending all of this time without drawing. So meanwhile, the ink, the pen nib is drying out, the pen nib, who knows what's happening, because I'm thinking so much. And it writes again. I mean, every once in a while, I'll have a pen that, if I stop using it, or if I hold it differently, if I'm thinking like this and the point is sticking up and I answer the telephone and I talk on the phone and I go back to drawing, and I may find that, the ink is no longer at the nib, and I have to, wait or make the line again, or, do something, some incantation to make the pen work. And, you shouldn't have to do that. But every once in a while, when you do set the pen down to get another cup of coffee or something, you may end up needing to sort of prime the pump And I don't, that shouldn't require more than just, turning the pen over and touching the paper and making a dot or making a line. There shouldn't be any real hesitation there. I know with more modern pens, because of the feed, the channel in the feed is this black thing that's underneath the nib, and modern pens have a very narrow channel, and the ink takes a while to get down it, and you may not, but there's enough ink, there should be enough ink, even if you put the pen down to answer the phone for a half an hour, there should be enough ink still in this thing, to make it go without having to prime it. Anyway, I don't know if these are deliberate enough marks. I'm one of these people who, I watch Peter draw, as many of you know that I have I'm not going to call it a crush on Peter Draws, that isn't the word. Someone once accused me of having a crush on him, and I don't have a crush on him. I find his drawing style, I have a crush on his drawing style. It's something that I don't do, and I wish I could. I envy. It's not a crush, it's just envy. I'm envious of it, because he's able to draw a line like that, or more like that, and he's able to draw a line that's perfectly parallel to that, and as you can, if you zoom in, you see all sorts of bumps and nastiness going on, and I can't do that. He's very deliberate in how he draws as well, and most of the time. There are sometimes when I see him draw faster, and it's not just because he's speeded up his film, which he often does, but he's a very deliberate mark maker. So is the guy that's getting these pens. So I'm channeling the deliberate mark making. I used to draw that way, but now I don't have time. I need to draw faster. I need to get my thoughts down on paper faster than I used to. Maybe my thoughts aren't as weighty as they used to be. Or maybe I've just realized that my thoughts aren't weighty and I can get my thoughts down more quickly because they are relatively simple. Part of it too is, if I'm just sketching, I'm not making art. When I'm making art, I really have to, feel I'm being profound on one hand, or I'm making something that is going to be framed and sold and appreciated by the person who buys it. And that's a lot of pressure that is put on one. And I'd rather go into a drawing without that pressure. If someone wants to buy it when I'm done, that's good. That'll help pay my electric bill. But if I go into creating something knowing that I'm going to be selling it, I have to be more careful and thoughtful. And I find that it hinders my ability to want to do something, to want to draw, and it also makes me less willing to take a chance. It's a very I find it very restricting and very frightening, and it doesn't help. You know, it's like the minute you start thinking about how you're skiing and how your legs and your arms and your skis are going, and you'll fall over. You have to sort of just go with the flow, or I have to go with the flow. Now there's some people that need to think and keep all of their brain cells going and make it work. But when it comes to drawing and sketching, I prefer to just have fun. And having fun requires me not to, I can't think about selling it or making art when I'm having fun. Does that make any sense to any of you? I don't know. So I think these pens are good to go. I think they passed my test. They passed the deliberate art mark making test. They're very different kettles of fish, these two pens. This is sort of loud. You know, if this was a human, I'm not going to say he's the bully on the playground. There is something sort of loud and maybe slightly aggressive about this nib. I don't know, bully isn't the right word. He's not the class clown. He's not demanding attention. He's not like a crying baby at the grocery store. I don't know what he is, but he's loud. And in a way, he can be aggressive. Now, why did that little thing skip right there? Every once in a while, things like that happen, and it might be sometimes, when you put your fingerprint on a piece of paper, the oils of your hand get on the paper and the ink doesn't stick. Anyway, I think that this will be fine. Let's see what this one. Now this guy, he's not the class bully. He's maybe the one that this guy picks on because he's an easy target because he's so quiet. But when he does say something, he doesn't have to speak loudly. What he says is really important, and you can tell that by the words he uses, not by the volume of his speech. I think this pen here, the Waterman, will make a more thoughtful line. This one will make a more dramatic line. Again, you can't hold it to the side like that because it's not going to work. You have to keep that ball centered. This is a more dramatic line. Maybe that's the word. This is the pen with drama. And those of you that have had boyfriends or girlfriends that have drama know exactly what that's like. You're sort of walking on eggshells with them because any little thing could just spark drama. And that's what this pen has. This pen has drama. And when would I use a pen like this rather than that? When I'm drawing drama. When I'm drawing the mountains being shoved up by plate tectonics. When I'm drawing the ocean crashing on the shore. When I'm drawing, that's when I'd use this pen. When I'm Sturm und Drang. This is a good Sturm und Dranging pen. Where this pen is more pastoral. I'm thinking Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony number, what is that? Not 7, 5, not 5. What is it, 6? Is it 6? Beethoven's 6th Symphony, the Pastoral. Yes, this is the, even when you're drawing the thunderstorm in that symphony, it's a nice thunderstorm. You know, you can still hear the little picnic in the background going on, and then the thunderstorm you hear. And it can be drawn with this. This is Wagnerian. This is the beginning of Act 1 of Die Walküre. It's loud. This is Wagnerian. This is well, this isn't always Beethoven. It depends on which Beethoven. But this is Wagnerian. This will draw drama. Well, you can draw, I mean, you can draw something quiet with this too. It's just loud. I guess it needs ink. That's what the problem is. I've been drawing with this so much that, yep, it's out of ink. That's why I was skipping. It had nothing to do with the oils in my fingers. There we go. So this is Wagnerian. This is Mozart, or Mozart or Beethovenian. This is Wagnerian. And I like Wagner. I like what Rossini said of Wagner. Wagner had beautiful moments, but awful quarter hours. They're both very different, and you will enjoy both of them. You may decide you want to just get one of them, keep one of them, but you'll enjoy playing with both of them. I guarantee it. That's a guarantee.